Okay. So my name is Ryan Steinolfson. I own a digital marketing agency in San Diego, and it's called Accelerate Marketing. We help businesses and brands get more business using live stream and Google advertising, Facebook advertising, etc. And we're always trying to push the boundaries. We're always trying to really push the limits, right, Greg? I mean, we've been doing it with you for years. You've been a customer of mine, and let me get my my headphones here. Sorry, I just realized I didn't have my headphones on. And Greg has been a really good sport over the years. Greg Watson is with Watson Real Estate, and he's been a really good sport. Let me just put my earbuds on here because he's let me basically test out all of my crazy ideas with on his business, and some of them are more baked than others. What we've been learning with live stream has been not too baked because it's so early, and we're just learning as we go. With what we've been doing with you for reputation, I mean, that obviously is has been that was established. We knew what kind of results we'd get, and we got the results for you. And
that's great. And anyone watching can Google Watson Real Estate. We're in a town called Palmerston North. Or even if you looked up Watson Real Estate in New Zealand, you'll see some of the great work that Ryan's been doing to get us some brilliant reviews.
Thank you, and there's a great example of social proof right in Blab. If you guys, I mean, look, if you can bring in some of your clients, your customers, like we're doing with Greg, which is not the intention of tonight. I can't pass up an opportunity to give a tip because that's just awesome. Thank you, Greg. And Sunday, if you want to jump in, why don't you, in the meantime, Greg, tell people a little bit more about yourself, what you guys do there. Okay. That'd be awesome.
We're a realtor based in a city called Palmerston North in New Zealand. We're quite well known within our industry for being innovative and for bringing in new ways of doing things. And that's why live streaming is such an interesting thing to do when it comes to real estate. And thanks for the likes there. The great thing with my line of work is actually property management. So it's leasing property, and we'll show you soon the sort of thing you can do with live streaming. But what we've found is that it's really helping my business to attract either buyers of real estate or people wanting to lease real estate who are not resident in my area. It's like they can have an interactive look around the homes without needing to pay for airfares, accommodation, and so forth.
That's awesome, and that's exactly the power of live stream, right? Is that you can leverage the fact that you can broadcast worldwide. I mean, we just did the Scope Day where there was 60 plus different scopers. Oh, getting ready, drive kids. We'll listen. Okay, awesome. We got 60 different scopers from around the world, 6 different continents. Mike, who was just DMing me on Twitter, was the guy who organized that. And to be able to create a live event like that in less than 2 weeks and get over 50,000 viewers for only $150.
Incredible.
I mean, that's just, if that doesn't give you an idea of what you can do as a realtor, I don't know, like that's the power of this technology. And for a realtor, it's a no-brainer because it's like that's what realtors do. They show properties. I mean, so if especially if you're a realtor where you've got buyers in other countries, whether that's Dubai or, I mean, wherever. I mean, you probably have a lot of buyers that are in other countries that want to see properties, that want to invest in the area or find a retirement home or something, or maybe, and they can't be there. So you're saying you're showing those properties using Periscope or live stream or Blab, right?
Absolutely. And the great thing about it, Ryan, is, and I'm just standing here in the sun at the moment on the front porch at my house, but the great thing about showing people live is that you can set the date and time you want to do it, tweet that out through Twitter and say, to your database of buyers or to your database of potential tenants, you simply say, folks, we know you're looking for a 3-bedroom home with 2 bathrooms in a great central location. I've found one. If you can join in on Friday at 2 p.m., I'm going to walk through live. And what this means, Ryan, and to the listeners, is that people can tune in because when I'm actually at the property on the Friday, they get a tweet reminding them. They can tune in, and the great thing is it becomes interactive, but it also doesn't discriminate. So anybody can watch from any location. And not only that, of course, and we all know with live streaming, it can make a recording to use later.
Yeah, that's just so powerful, Greg. And so let's just take people through the problem and everything that I know that the problem is that your time is valuable. I mean, and the problem, well, that's one problem. The other problem is that a lot of times, people are remote and they want to see properties. Another problem is that you can't quickly and easily create a walkthrough tour that will easily be posted to YouTube, that will at least give people an insight and at the same time show a large crowd of people. So that's the problem, right?
And a great solution. There's a couple of solutions. If you are in a real estate company and you've listed 2 or 3 properties that week, and you can go back to your database, you can actually do a blab where you have one of your staff at each property, and you generally show them about 10 or 15 minutes apart. So just to clarify that, you target your database. You're showing them 3-bedroom properties in a certain town or a certain location, and they can just stay tuned in. They can watch the first video. If it doesn't suit, that's fine. They can interact with the person that's there. Then they can go to a second video and the third one. By video, I mean live stream, I should say. They can go to the live stream and watch and ask questions. So what that does is it saves travel and time so that we can pre-arrange those viewings and people can just literally join in wherever they are. They could be in a different time zone. They could be at work. They could be at home. And it just gives them a great opportunity to see 3 properties with 0 travel time. Yes. Sounds great, eh?
Yeah. So step 1, I'm putting the steps in here. Step 1 is schedule a blab to do the showing in the future. Step 2 is invite your list to the blab. Okay.
That's right.
Step 3 is have 2 other agents at 2 properties along with yourself and somebody from the home office in the 4 boxes. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
that's a good point, Ryan, because the person in the home office can answer any questions that are a little bit more tricky or that they might need to refer to some documentation to answer. So normally in the number 1 position, the top left, you would have actually a administrator in the home office who's also on the blab, and the other 3 spots or 2 spots, depending on the number of properties, you can have the realtors showing them.
Yes. And so thanks, Micah. And we'll talk to you soon. I'll see you on Instagram. Thanks for joining. And the other really great thing, if you want to share on Twitter, that'd be awesome. What's really cool is step 3 is that you've got exactly what Greg said, is you've got 2 other people that are showing properties along with you. And then you've got the home office person showing properties that are basically like on YouTube. So he's basically showing his screen and he's showing YouTube videos based on people's desires and what they want to see. Now, what happens in step 4 is you have one person show a property and take everybody through, and you've got your whole list, mind you, in one of the. So basically, what you've got is you've got yourself, you've got somebody else showing a property, and then you've got somebody from home office, and then you've got somebody in the hot seat that you're bringing in from your list that wants to see your properties.
Yeah, that's a cool way of doing it as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So you bring one person in or multiple people in, you bring one person at a time, and you allow them to ask questions and engage with the property that you're showing. And then what you can do is just continually and you make the other person that's from home office a moderator. So you're both hosts. You're both actually hosts. So I could make Greg a host, for example, right now. And when I do that, then like I did, so now you're a host, and then you then have the ability to be able to add people in, escort them to another blab, etc. And what happens is the person from home office can be kind of like the traffic cop. So he's the guy who's determining who jumps in, who can see the property, he's answering questions because things are happening really fast. And so what will happen is also, if you have 1 or 2 people, once this person that's right here where Greg's at, once he actually gets done showing a property, then what happens is Greg will say, hey,
if you like this property, if you like the property that was just shown, then go over to this blab, and then you'll have the person from home office create another blab and post the link in the comments so that people that like that property and want to ask more specific questions can ask questions about that specific property. So that's a very powerful strategy to basically get good stuff. Yeah, heading, good stuff. Yeah. So those are the steps. I mean, step one, again, is schedule a blab in the future. Step two, you send an email out to your list, or let people know that you're having the blab in the future. You're going to do these showings. Step three is have at least 2 other people ready to show properties and somebody from the home office, and then you show the properties and you have the home office person answering questions and then creating extra blabs based on what people want to see. So that's anything. Do you think, did I miss anything out on that, Greg?
I think something to mention as well, of course, for the viewers is that this becomes a recorded video later, so that even if people can't tune in at the time, it doesn't mean that you can't reuse it. And that's the power of it. If you had a new client come into the office and say, what have you got that's 3 bedrooms in this area? You can say, we can go out and have a look. But if you want to, you can just watch this short recording. And then if you still want to go out and see any of them, we'd love to do so. So it can complement the traditional way of doing things.
Yeah, I'm just typing that in. That's great. So that's step 4. And that's what's so powerful about this. And if anybody has any questions, I know, Greg, you got to go. I got to cook dinner for Connor. So I want to get some questions in here. If anybody wants to jump in the seat, that's the magic right there. That is the strategy. And you and I, we spent we spent probably almost 2 months, masterminding and brainstorming about how to do this the most effective way. And there are some gadgets that you want to have, and you can go to Periscope, Ryan, if you want to learn more about what gadgets to use to show properties. People know me as
I'll just mention today that go to Periscope, Ryan, and look at the gadgets, because I was telling Ryan off air that I've actually lost one of my main gadgets this morning at a house, which is a wide angle lens, which is normally you would see a lot more as a viewing. But and the real power of this, Ryan, and to the viewers, is you can ask questions, of course, just in the chat, or you can come in if you're a buyer looking at a property. So it's just this wonderful interactiveness that takes it to the next level, and crucially, it allows you to gain the listings. So when you're doing a presentation, you're wanting to secure a listing, so that you can sell a house. Then when you tell them that you do this and nobody else is, and how the great benefit is for people out of town. Because one thing I'd just like to mention, Ryan, briefly in terms of real estate, is that if you strike the perfect person at the right time, they'll pay more money. It's common sense. And so what this is doing is, just to recap, we're targeting people who are looking for a property similar to this one. And so therefore, why not get all of those people in, create some competition, and it just works really well for getting a better price.
Wow. So you're saying there is some competition that's created through this process, because you almost get, especially if you do this in conjunction with a showing of a property. I mean, people could be like, wait, you got how many people that are seeing that live on your phone? And what are you doing? And then you might get some buyers. You might actually pick up some buyers by doing that.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, you see, with people attending an open home, I'm not quite sure what terminology you use in the States, that let's say 6 people come to the open home, I could be showing another dozen people through at the same time. And that creates this competition where the curiosity gets the better. They say, what are you doing? Are you filming? You say, no, I'm showing people around. I've got half a dozen here. We've got 12 online. If you want to do something, you're probably going to have to act fast. We've got buyers here from around the country and locally. So don't miss out.
And you could say, hey, do you want to meet Greg? He's a buyer. He's actually, you're going to put that offer in pretty soon, Greg, right? Greg's a buyer. And so's Sammy the owl down here, and then so's the other owl. So you've got,
Absolutely.
I mean, when you show them that you've got 4 buyers from around the world, they're like, first of all, they're going to be like, whoa, like what in the world is this guy doing? So Dennis is in there. So Greg, you're
Dennis
one of the
Youssef teaches on this topic to realtors. So welcome, Dennis. He'll just be getting set up there, I think.
Down here.
Dennis. So I really, because I was so impressed when I saw you from the front of that group walking around with your phone and Greg, grabbing a beer, from in the back and then coming in. I was like, what are these guys doing? And so I was like, what is going on here? And I didn't see the full, I guess the full, whatever you guys did there at the end, but it was obvious that you were presenting on this to a group of realtors. And so property managers. And so what I'm curious is what feedback you've gotten, because I know you've presented to quite a few people now. So I'm curious as to what the what the reaction is and what you're doing and just give us some insight there.
Yeah, well, that was to about 110 or 111 people plus a couple of sponsors. And some of the guys knew about it because they're under the training regime that I give them anyway. But look, they were quite blown away. I was very happy that Greg forgot that he could have booked the beer to the room. So he didn't cost me a beer during the presentation. So that was good. But it really enlightened. It just, as much as it was a joke and it was a bit of fun, it showed them that, guys, this is live. This is interaction right now. But how we actually did that presentation, because the internet was a little bit tight, so we didn't allow anyone access to join in that was in the room.
Okay.
When you popped in, your questions were just a little bit delayed, if that made sense.
Yeah.
But we set that up because you don't want 110 people sharing the same internet access in one room.
Right.
Because we're all a Wi-Fi network. So, but look, their reaction's been phenomenal. It's I've had a lot of emails. How are you, Greg? Good to see you shaving, buddy.
I know.
Great, thanks. Yeah.
And now I haven't. So.
The beard's gone. Yeah.
Same. Yeah, the rustic looks gone. But yeah, look, there was so it was actually the LJ Hooker Network in Australia, and they've just been awarded as the best network in Australia for the last 2 years in a row through Real Estate Business Online. So they're quite a reputable franchise group. And there was one particular office that was there that was ranked the #1 LJ Hooker office in Australasia.
Wow.
And he's absolutely blown away about what we've opened their eyes to. So that was Mark, Greg.
Yeah, so I realised that.
Yeah, Mark, you had a bit of a talk to him at the end, and he's been in a little bit of email contact with me. He's just said this just takes real estate to another level. But he actually said, I'm going to share this with sales. And I'm like, property management, teaching the sales how it's done. That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and he emailed me just only yesterday again saying that they really enjoyed the training. Now, coming from Mark, that you take that as a big compliment because he goes to every training everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I'll just mention as well.
This is why I shared this with you guys, because if there's one thing that I've been given by whatever you want to call, the higher power, whatever, is the ability to be able to see and put things together and see where things are trending. And when I saw this technology, I immediately, you remember Greg, I was like, okay, Greg, we were on one of our strategy sessions. I was like, here's something that might not happen right now, might not happen in 4 months from now, but I want to work with you because I see where this is going. And then that's where you introduced me to Dennis, and that's how the ball really got rolling. And I so want to have an example of this and somebody really, really using this and leveraging it. Because here's the deal, Dennis, are you talking? And Dennis, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself really quick?
Yeah, sure. So my job is I'm a real estate coach and consultant mentor. So basically, I train people how to grow their rent rolls. I was in real estate for just under 5 years. I was a business development manager for a company. So my job was to go out and do all the listings. Won some international awards in doing that here in Australia, and now I train other real estate officers across Australia and New Zealand in how to do the rent roll growth. So, for example, Greg, I speak to him on a monthly basis, and we strategize. We put new ideas in place. I put accountability on Greg to make sure that he's doing the works, doing this. Greg, are you still doing your videos? What did you say at the last meeting, etc. Sometimes I ring Greg up and he goes, "Oh, Dennis, I haven't done that, but I'll do it." So it's that accountability that I put onto an office, to grow them. So it's about bringing the latest technology, like Periscope and Blab, etc. Bringing that into real estate offices and teaching them to gain a new point of difference so they can win more business.
Yeah, and that's exactly what this is, and that's why I'm really glad to see you using it. And really, you're coaching, you're teaching, you're holding these guys accountable, the property managers. You've produced great results, and I'm glad to see that. I mean, it's just confirmation that this is where things are going, because you're out there, you're speaking to a broader base of people. I mean, you remember, Greg, when we first started doing these, we didn't have this many people on. I mean, and if we stayed with this, we would probably have 200, 300 people, coming through this room, wanting now to figure this out, because it's starting very slowly but surely to become more mainstream. Everybody wants to know how to make this work, and we just gave. And you guys, if you guys are just joining, watch the replay of this. And that's the beauty of Blab, is that you can watch the replay, and you can also upload very quickly to YouTube. That's another reason why I like Blab. I like Blab for real estate, and I'm going to tell you guys, I know you're talking about Periscope. I'm telling you, I think that Blab is the sleeper for it's the sleeper technology that is really, I think, going to be it's going to be the long-term play for realtors to use, because of the fact that you can interact live with people, and you can do what Greg and I were talking about, which is basically the strategy where you have two other people showing properties, and you have somebody from home office. Jamie. And there's Dave. So Dave's going to show off his tricks and tips.
Dave is my home office administrator.
Yep.
Okay. I totally agree with you on that, Ryan, in having the two at the same property. So you've got Greg and Dave at two properties now. So Australia and New Zealand, we are a little bit behind the times when it comes to the new technology. So when we first started talking about Periscope at the training last Thursday, we asked who's heard of Periscope, and 4 people put their hands up, and those 4 people are the ones that I'm training. So it goes to show that it's still very, very, very new.
Yep.
And one thing I'd like to say,
I agree. Blab's a sleeper. I would love, where I could take training to another level is, Greg at a property, instead of it being a vacant property, Greg's at a property where he's pitching for the business, and his coach can be in the room and say, Greg, ask.
Well, you did that. No. Wait, Dennis, you did that. I'll never forget that time that we did that Blab, and Greg had his headphones on. It blew me away, and you had your headphones on, and you literally had somebody walk into one of your showings, and your coach was in the Blab, Dennis, and he coached you through it, and we heard the whole conversation. Like that was awesome.
It was like I was a secret agent. I could hear Dennis, you guys could hear me, and you could hear this man, but the man couldn't hear any of you. So Dennis was coaching me on what to say to close the deal.
It was great. And did you ever close that deal, Greg?
Yeah, that guy didn't rent that particular property, but we gave it a good go.
Well, I will say,
he walked away. He failed. Ryan, I'm talking about another level. So that's a vacant property. I'm talking about a new owner. So let's say you ring Greg and you say, Greg, I'd like you to come to my house. I'm thinking about renting my home out. I've got a couple of agents coming, and I'm in the room with Greg. And then I'm saying, Greg, ask the owners this. Ask them what their concern is about renting the home out. This is how you respond to that. So I could actually coach him on how to respond to winning the listing.
Winning the listing. So you're talking about having him go in and meet with people that have not listed a property yet.
Spot on.
We call those for sale by owners over here.
Yeah. And we want the door. Yeah. You guys talk about, that's a door we've got, how many doors we're managing. So we haven't got the door to manage yet. So this is another way, possibly can we, train on having me, Greg's a little bit of a different example because he's such a great agent himself, but someone new to the industry that's never done a presentation before, having the comfort of someone with an experience, in another country or, they could be around the corner in the car.
That's great.
Coaching them on what to say and, ask them this question, walk through, mate, don't forget to show them the pack and, but it also teaches the coach where I need to train them more.
Yeah. So it gives you feedback and it also gives the student feedback. I mean,
spot on.
Because it's live, it's real time, and you can see what you need to give him more of in order for him to be able to get to the next level. That's genius.
Ryan, can I jump in for a moment?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I just wanted to say what Dave and I are simulating at the moment is Dave, as if he's walking around a house, because we've pre-notified people that I'm at one house and Dave's at the other. The people on our database who are most likely to suit this house. Now, let's say they've been watching Dave. I've just been quietly on standby. And let's say, no, Dave, that's not a property we're interested in. Then we can switch to mine. So Dave can switch back so his head is in the picture, so to speak. And then I can pick up with a different property.
Oh, no, my head's not there.
His head's not there.
Oh, my head's not there.
And so what this is doing is ordinarily we would have to have travel time between Dave's property and my property, which is really significant. Or the person that was watching Dave's property is in a completely different city. And remember, what's great about this, folks, someone might say, what's all that rubbish on the floor there? And you say, well, that's actually they're just getting a puppy. So that's just a little puppy pen. This is normally actually the dining room. But they're getting a puppy, the people, so that's why that's there. So that's a sort of interactiveness you can
I wouldn't
have.
miss
Thanks,
if
Dave.
you allow dogs in the house, buddy.
Let's just back up because I think there's more to it. So what Dennis would be representing is Dennis would be representing the hot seat. So he would be the hot seat. He would be the people that were on Greg's list and Dave's list,
right.
And
a prospective tenant.
Yeah, and they're a prospective tenant for a realtor, a prospective buyer. So realtors have their buyers list, so they're mailing it out, and then Dennis shows up. We add him to the hot seat. Dave and Greg can both add. They're both moderators as well, so they can moderate. They can respond to questions. Dave especially because he's just sitting at home office, and what Dave's doing is he's showing properties from the YouTube videos. So he's not at an actual property himself. He's showing YouTube videos of properties that he's got that are actually recorded already. And that's one of the real secret. That's one of the secrets to the system is that, so he's showing, there's the loop right there. He's showing another property that somebody else recorded already. And he's showing that on his screen. And so if somebody says they want a 3-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, or let's say they want a 4-bedroom, then Dave can go to that property from his database and show the YouTube videos of all the 4-bedroom properties. And what the other great thing is that, and this is the beauty of Blab, this is why it's so powerful, Dennis, and I know you're going to use this in your training and because this is going to be very powerful. Is you then can create another blab, and then Dave puts the link to that blab in the comment section, and people that are interested in that property can jump over to that blab, and they can actually learn and watch it. Does that make sense? So what you're doing is you're creating all these sub blabs based on what people's interests are, and there's nobody doing that. There's nobody that's really.
Yeah, that's really cool. So especially if you're in an office and you've got multiple screens, you can you can have the videos on at the same time. Yeah, okay.
So,
That's a great idea.
So it's not only, yeah, go ahead, Greg, sorry.
I was just going to say, so Dennis, as a buyer, could ask questions like, what on earth is that forest doing on the wall? And I can say, well, Dennis, the current owners are quite eccentric in their taste. However, it is only wallpaper. And the good news is that all the other decor, you could just put a nice neutral paint on there and no more forest. So those are the sort of things that you can cover just on the spot, whereas someone might be put off from that saying, well, that looks like a lot of work to get fixed. But where it's interactive, you say, well, actually, that's just a coat of paint. No trouble.
Sure. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's really, so I think people get it. I mean, I just wanted to really, just cover this topic really quick. We've had a lot of people come in and go out. And I think that this is a very relevant topic right now that, and if we had Dave in here, we could very easily have Dave go create another blab and take the blab and put it in as a link in the messaging section right here. So if people wanted to learn more about it, I just want to model, and that's what. And thank you, Greg, for allowing Dave to come over and show this, and Dennis, thank you for jumping in here. I've
got a scoot. I've got a training session that I'm 2 minutes late for. I just wanted you to finish what you're saying because it was important. Yeah, sorry, I'm playing double catch up because I was sick 1 week, travelled 1 week, and I'm back on this week. So maybe next week I'll give you a bit more time.
That'd be great.
Good.
Let's
Thanks,
keep these going again. And Dennis, it was great.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got no travel plans until the end of the year unless I've got an agency chasing me. But I've got just so you know, I've actually got a franchise group in America wanting me to come over and do some training with them. So there might be an opportunity that I catch up. I'm meeting with them tomorrow morning. Haven't told you about that one yet, Greg. Anyway, guys, I've got to scoot.
Okay.
Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for that. Cheers.
Thanks, Dennis.
See you later, Dennis. Now, Ryan, do you mind if I answer a question Socially Sam has asked? Yeah. He's asked, would you use this on Periscope as well? The answer is you can, although I agree with Ryan that Blab is better, because one thing that we haven't talked about today, Ryan, is that if you lock the other seats so that my picture is the only one, that you can see, then it becomes just simply a housing video.
Yep. Yeah. And that's a very good point. And Socially Sam, great question. What we've learned is that if for example, if I just was on here by myself as the only person broadcasting, it would take up almost the entire, 7x9, like the YouTube video screen. Now, if there's two people, it takes up a very similar amount of space. Now, if you get 3 and 4, that's when it gets a little bit smaller. So that's another strategy to keep in mind, and great one to bring up, Greg, is that you can actually on the replays that you can, and even on here, when I'm the only one, it goes big on the recording when you actually upload it to YouTube. So that's something to keep in mind, and that was really a good question. So would you use this on Periscope? So use the space so you can repurpose the content. Yeah, use the space so that you can show off the property if that's what you want to do. If that's your goal. If you I think the real power is getting multiple people in here, and that's why we use the wide angle lenses, because then you can take up as much of that little square as you can, and you can really show. And it's a bummer that Greg doesn't have his Ola clip today, because you can see, we've tested this. You can see enough of the property for somebody to understand and really see. And Greg's not even using an Ola clip right now. If he's using an Ola clip, you'd be able to see that whole room, get perspective, and yes. So the answer to your question is yes. I would use this on Periscope. I just think because of all the features of Blab, the fact that you can have 4 people on, how easy it is to upload to YouTube, the fact that you've got the comments right there, that they're always right there. I mean, there's so many different advantages. The fact that you can that you can share, you can record really easily. The fact that you've got a landing page, that's the other big advantage, is that you can, not just a landing page, that you can embed the video. That is very, very critical for everybody to understand. You can embed the video, guys, into a blog post, and then you drive traffic to the blog post. letting people know that that is where you are going to be doing your live stream in the future. You're showing, and then you're going to get all the time on page. You're going to get all the SEO benefit because people are going to go to that blog post. And then here's even one step further. You can have an opt-in right below that embedded Blab video where you're going to be live streaming from. And you can say, hey, if you want more information on all the properties that we have, all the listings we have, then all you got to do is put your name and email below, and then they put the name and email below. They don't go anywhere else. They stay right on the page, and they get added to your list. And that's the real power of Blab over Periscope. Okay, that's a
great point. Yeah. Now, Ryan, do you mind me interrupting for a moment? This is just something very trivial. I'm having trouble actually turning my camera around. It is just a double tap.
Oh, no, there's you gotta.
Sorry, guys, I had it working perfectly before, but.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's not switching.
It's not switching.
Okay. Oh, Social Sam did a blog post on that last week. Awesome. So you use the space so you can then repurpose the content. Yes. Cool. I've had that happen. Awesome. And if you guys look, all I ask, if you've learned these strategies from me, just reference me that you learned this stuff from me, because a lot of this stuff is IP, is stuff that I've come up with and Greg has come up with just through blood, sweat, and tears. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just from a lot of time and effort. And so all we ask is that if you've learned a lot from us, just share this, tell a little bird, share it on Facebook. And when you're teaching on this stuff, because I see, Jamie, I know is he does some teaching. And I don't know if you know Christian Penner, but he's on the mortgage side of things as well. And he also does a similar thing where he teaches this concept to realtors in order to help the mortgage people get more business from the realtors. Because what's happening is these realtors
Fantastic.
are really becoming allies and knowledge sharers, if you will, and informers in order to really help these and educators in order to help the realtors take it to the next level. And then obviously, if that mortgage broker helps that person, then who are they going to think of next when they think of who to go get a mortgage from? So
I'm just laughing at Jamie's comment. It beats bringing them donuts.
Yeah, and so Jamie, you gotta connect with Christian Penner, because he's doing he's got a very similar strategy. And this is, look, if you're a mortgage broker, and this is an amazing. She says, I'll do that. Thank you. This is an amazing strategy to share. There is no question about it. It's an amazing strategy to share and talk to people about. And yeah.
And Ryan, if you don't mind me saying so, if any of you want to follow me, G_Watson, or just follow from this Blab, it'll just give you the ability to see some of the stuff we're doing with this video. You'll get notifications, of course, when I'm filming, and that can just give you a good sort of first-hand example on what it's like to watch one.
Yep, awesome. Yeah, actually, Greg, is there any other? Before we wrap up here, is there anywhere else that you want to send people to connect with you if they want to connect with you?
Yeah, our website, watsonrealestate.nz. watsonrealestate.nz. I'm always available there.
Awesome. And for you, if you want to connect with me, obviously just follow me on Blab. You can also follow me on Periscope. A lot of people know me as Periscope Ryan. I've been doing the live stream thing for a while now. I'm speaking at I spoke at the New York Summit, Periscope Summit. I'm possibly going to be speaking at the summit, the Periscope Summit. And it'd be great to see you there, Greg, by the way.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, in January. And then, and I help businesses and brands, get more customers using the live stream. I do have a live stream blueprint so you go to livestreamblueprint.com. Greg's in that group. If you want to learn more about that, where I teach businesses how to leverage live stream in order to get more customers, businesses, brands, anybody. And then also, if you want to know more about gadgets, you can go to periscoperyan.com and learn more about the gadgets that we recommend using on Blab, on Periscope, in order to create a more immersive edutainment type of a live stream. So I'm really, I'm really glad that we're able to connect tonight, Greg.
It's been really fun, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have.
I have, of course, always. And I always look forward to seeing your notifications pop up about, Greg's blabbing from here. He's doing this, he's doing that. And I jump on there. Michael Stelzner. Look at it. We got some big hitters in here. Michael Stelzner, the founder of Social Media Examiner.
Fantastic.
Is in the house. And Mike, go ahead and watch the replay. So Greg is, just to let you know, Greg is the largest property manager in New Zealand. He's one of my clients, and he's been a client of mine for going on 4 or 5 years now, and he's crushing it using live stream down in New Zealand. He's showing up our American counterparts here because I haven't seen too many people that have done what he's doing, and the strategy, quite simply, is getting 2 other realtors in the blab showing properties, and then you have 1 other person that's from home office showing YouTube videos of other properties, and then you create a sub blab based on what people want to see more of. So really cutting edge strategies, and then obviously, creating a landing page with the blab embedded in it, and then driving traffic to it from the email list, and letting people know that you're going to be blabbing these showings in the future. So it's working for Greg, and it's helped him with his business, and we're already starting to prove the model. So.
Just have fun with it. Like I say, I go back to something I said originally, which is you contact your buyer database when you list a home that's similar to what they like. By then offering them a marketing preview live stream, you're bringing the buyers most likely to pay the best price for that house live in to the viewing. And the people selling the house, of course, they'll be more than happy to sign up to have you be the seller because you're the only one that can provide that service.
Yeah, that's great. So with that, let's just wrap it up. Greg, thanks for jumping on and sharing your knowledge.
Thanks so
much. And playing with me tonight. And we'll do this again next week. And
wonderful.
We'll see you there.
Bye, everybody. It's been great.